The adventurous and playful spirit of the Brazilian people dominates this phenomenon since 1998, establishing in the state of Pará a peculiar surf championship on the back of Pororoca. Less risky surfing can be enjoyed in Rio de Janeiro. Copacabana is a busy beach where remains of the prehistoric Amazonian culture can be found, although you may find it hard to believe. Ours is a purely anthropological interest, we'll have you know. We observe certain details. We are far away from the Amazon River, but the native women of Rio de Janeiro, unknowingly, wear a few of the characteristic traditional garments. Let's abandon Rio and return to the river. You'll soon see why. A Brazilian beauty, a beautiful woman. Beauty here in this beach that is at the mouth of the Amazon River has been strutting itself for many years, hundreds of years, among other things, with this garment, the tanga. She's wearing it, and don't think it's a modern-day garment. On the island of Marajó, archaeologists have discovered the Marajoara tanga. I have here an exact replica, perfect, just like the ones that women wore around here hundreds of years ago. It's a clay and plant fiber reproduction, which proves that tradition, culture, and dress strolled around here in the Amazon River at the beginning of time. And from there, we have taken these archaeological objects, tangas over 1,000 years old. Modern man thinks he invented everything. Long before the arrival of the Europeans, the estuary Amazon people toasted during the funeral rites dressed in these garments that were discovered in 1959. They belong to the Santarém culture and are decorated with interesting designs. Archaeologists know with accuracy that the Amazon River has been inhabited for at least 12,000 years, testimony to which are these clay tangas, or arrows of primitive quartz. The only archaeological department in Brazil that was housed within the University of Rio de Janeiro closed a few years ago due to a lack of expectation. Today, a prestigious private institution with which the state participates economically, the Museu Goeldi in Belém de Pará, studies on its own and with important results the prehistoric Amazon. Directed by Dr. Vera Guapindaya, these funeral urns and sacred contents have been studied over the past few years, urns that belong to an important necropolis located in the region of the Maracá River.
Inside the urns that we are seeing now, in all of the urns we opened, we found bones, detached bones belonging to complete skeletons. We found no funeral paraphernalia inside the urns. We have found things outside the urns. In the grotto, we found ceramic necklace beads and a few vessels. The vessels were outside. That was what the urns were accompanied by. But there was nothing inside. They were always outside. Ethnologists believe that some tribes cast the bodies to the river so that the fish would eat the softer parts of the bodies, and when the bones were picked clean, they would put them inside the urns and celebrate another ritual, a secondary ritual. We can also imagine that once the body had decayed, they would scrape the bones with stone instruments, and later put them inside the urns.
The Goeldi Museum holds in its collection several hundred funeral urns, where the artists of the past made it very clear which sexual group the deceased belonged to. Civilized inhabitants of the Amazon River. When this river is just a stream in its Andine origin, the natives call it Paranapitinga, clear river, referring to the crystal waters. Very close to here, at the mouth, the water is brown, painted with time and life. The old Amazon pushes the Atlantic Ocean strongly, trying to make its way. It has to spill 175 million liters of water in just one day. All the water moved by the Thames throughout one whole year. With such mind-boggling figures, it's easy to imagine that besides water, the river furnishes sediments to the sea. And it's true. 800 million tons of Andine land wind up in the ocean every year. That's enough material to multiply 10 times over Brazil's most famous mountain, the Pão de Açúcar, or Sugarloaf Mountain, a miracle contemplated by the gods of Corcovado. Those of us who have made this series possible for you have not been unaware of this miraculous explosion of life. Believe us, we feel blessed by this river and its graces. We have been respectful witnesses to their intimate gestures. And you along with us. The men who threaten the Amazon River have been more slippery than the river itself. Daniel Garibotti, our producer, has tirelessly pursued them.
Bom dia.
But they were unwilling to disclose their sins.
Dr. Cecílio Almeida, por favor.
In spite of Daniel's efficiency, the destroyers of the Amazonia will not show their faces. The threatened fauna wasn't as picky. To have them pose for the camera was as difficult as having them stand before a gun sight, but without blood, nor guilty feelings. Without bullets, we have hunted down moments, secrets, the distrust of beautiful animals so that you could fall in love with the Amazon planet and its inhabitants. We have become involved so we could better understand the last call of this part of the world where so many things are happening. No animal was more important than another, although working with this silent 100-kilogram anaconda was something we enjoyed very much, as snake lovers can understand. The pet of some military outfit, like this ocelot, wanted to come out on television, and we let it. Although we did have to insist on our own creative criteria. Our technicians had a great time trying to combine electronics with the jungle humidity. But with patience, vocation, and trade, everything can be resolved. The cheekiness of some has done the rest. Six months of fieldwork, and much more than that of planning, have been needed to be able to photograph some of Brazil's gems that glow before the blindness of almost everyone. Snapshots that we now keep in our hearts.
Aquí está nuestro amigo, el oso hormiguero.
When Daniel Ubeda,